Hey guys, what's going on?
Welcome back to our channel.
Today is a very exciting day. It starts our Finance Friday series for the month of October. What that means is every Friday for the month of October, I'll be sharing my tips and tricks that has helped us on our journey to financial freedom. Today, as you also saw, we do have a special appearance, Mr. Joseph. He will be joining us back in just a second. He will also be throwing in his 2 cents on some of the things that helped us along the way. I'd first like to start off with what I think financial freedom is and what it means to me, and the huge difference that I think there is between financial independence. I found this on Google and it was the perfect explanation in writing. To me, financial freedom is having enough residual income to cover all your expenses. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean to be rich or have excess money, but rather having enough money to cover your expenses. So instead, you're working to live and not living to work, if that makes sense. And on the other hand, financial independence is having excess income and money to cover your expenses without being employed. And although that's everyone's dream, and of course my dream as well, we do all have to start somewhere. So in the beginning, when we first got married and combined our income, I think we went through what most people go through in, having to learn through trial and error. So we definitely started off with different views on money. Essentially, we ended up living paycheck to paycheck, trying to grow our savings account, but not really having the ability to do so. The first thing we did where I think we made a mistake was the only thing we were tracking was our income, and we had no idea where our expenses or spending money was going because we never had an exact amount. It was always something that we just tracked mentally, kind of something in our head. This eventually caused so much frustration because we would see our savings account grow in the middle of the month, but then come the end of the month or the beginning and it was time to pay bills. So it was essentially like a never-ending cycle of money going back in and back out of our savings account. And we just grew more and more frustrated because we were like, what are we doing wrong? That over time obviously didn't show us the growth within our savings account that we wanted to or that we thought we were doing. So we quickly realized that we had to do something very different. Very early on, I realized we had to come up with some sort of budget in place. And I'm not really like a notebook and pen type of gal. So Excel was my best friend, and that is where my spreadsheet came along.
So over the years, the spreadsheet has grown with us. It has changed and improved over time due to many life changes throughout the years. It's always something you can rely on and see where you're at financially, and always have a good plan. It's always good to plan ahead of time and not regret things later on.
And the benefit of using spreadsheets and working with me is that I can customize it to any of your needs essentially.
There are 4 key points that you must work on in order to maximize this spreadsheet's full potential, which I think are job security, discipline, patience, and resilience. And to break them down a little bit more, I'm sure you guys know what these are, but for example, job security, it's something that you definitely want to have something secure, like you want to have something safe. And not just only have income, I think you should aim to improve your income, have different sources of income, get a promotion, just your foundation there. If you don't have income, then the spreadsheet is not going to work because it's just no income. You can't save anything. The second one is discipline, something that you grow over the years, and it takes sometimes, some people are better at it than others, but it's something you could definitely work on. It just takes a little bit of training. There's one key phrase that I always remember from the Marines, and it takes 21 days to establish a habit, and it takes 8 days to break a habit.
I think along with discipline, there is plenty of sacrifice, especially in accomplishing your goals.
Patience is another key point that you have to have patience. Like, this is not something that's going to grow overnight. It could take you a year to sometimes even 5 years, depending how much debt you're in. A lot of people sometimes struggle with debt. It's one of the worst financial problems somebody can have. Getting rid of it can be pretty hard. So it's doable, so Don't give up. And just to kind of add on to patience, resilience is another one that, you have to be resilient. You can't give up no matter what. Have that clear goal in your head and just go right after it. When you put something in your head, you can achieve it regardless of anything. Your mind and your body can do way more than you actually believe you can. So,
you know, there's goals that you're gonna set that is like pay off this credit card, but then there's gonna be larger goals that you're gonna say buy a house by the year 2024. Whatever the goal may be, you just have to continuously fight towards it and don't give up.
Kill your bigger debt first that charges you more interest. That way you can have more money to put towards the lower debt. So that's one tip right there.
Yep. Many more where that came from. So now I'll be giving you a quick run through on what my two spreadsheets look like. I do have a basic version and an advanced version depending on what level you're at and what your comfortability is with Excel. That's going to depend which spreadsheet you use. So maybe this run through will give you a better idea on which one you would like to download. So it does look very small so far, but I'm just going to go over very briefly what the first tab is, and then as you can see down here, there's monthly tabs. I'm just going to zoom out very quick to give you an overall view. Let's start on my goals and to-dos tab. This is just a short little table on the examples of expenses and the examples of debt that you might include on your spreadsheet. These are some definitions of the terms I use on other pages of the spreadsheet. Right here is going to be instructions that you take on a monthly basis. So you're going to run down each instruction. When you're done, you can either put an X there so you know where you're along, or you can put a little check mark if you know a little more about Excel. Or you can just copy and paste these little check marks. But these boxes are also color coded with the corresponding box that they belong in. Down here is just going to be a list of your goals financially that you want to set, whether that's short term, long term. That can be simply to pay off this X amount of debt or to increase your savings by X amount. You can get as specific as you like. And then down here is a to-do list on everything you need to do in order to accomplish these financial goals. And now the second tab, along with all of them throughout the end of the year, will be the same thing, as you can see. So on each tab we have an income section, a savings section, expenses section, and a debt section. And then you'll get a little summary of your net worth. And now, of course, this is your personal net worth, so you don't have to take it too seriously, but it's basically to give you a rough idea of where you financially stand in today's day or a month-by-month basis. So if you're just simply starting out, this would be your best bet to go with. And don't worry, if you see an alert, there's just a section on the worksheet where you can't change anything except typing in here. So essentially what you'll be able to fill in is just the data. All your totals, your net worth calculations will all total and calculate by themselves, so you won't even have to worry about that. This little flex amount down here is pretty much the difference between your income and expenses. So it'll turn green if your flex amount is in the positives, and it will turn red if your spending and expenses are over your income. This is the advanced spreadsheet. I'm just going to zoom out again to kind of give you an overview on what's on here. So it contains the same description of expenses, debt, and it actually have examples of investments. Well, now this is a little different because it doesn't go month to month. Each specific tab is a different topic. So once you purchase the spreadsheet, this is the first steps that you'll want to do. Complete your goals and to-dos tab, which is right here. Estimated income, estimated expenses, and then this right here is your instructions. Now it is color coded depending on what tab I want you to use it in. So a little different, but very similar to the basic spreadsheet. Here's the same definitions, and let's get started on the first tab. On here you're going to complete your goals. Down here, the same to-dos. This is an estimated income. Now I know per person, depending, you have one person, multiple people, you're a couple, multiple sources of income. This allows you to track all of that. And again, you'll only be able to fill out the data. The totals will calculate on their own. This is a monthly expenses, but this is estimated expenses. So although your monthly expenses might change and vary depending, this is just to give you a solid idea of what you think is going on. These two tabs will kind of give you a reality check because this next one is the actual income versus expenses. So this is the tab that you'll use on a month-to-month basis in comparison with your bank statement. So this just gives you a real hardcore visual of what money you have coming in, what money you have going out, and what your real flex amount is. The next tab will be your retirement investments tab. Now you're going to put the source along with the balance every month. These two tabs are all you'll be completing. This growth tab will automatically calculate once you fill in and complete your current month. The next tab is savings. So, depending on whether you have a savings account or a brokerage account, you can use it on here. Just to make sure you're tracking your growth, the next tab will be the debt tab. Now, this is a little more excessive because, some people have multiple credit cards that they're in debt for, or school loans, so it just gives you a lot of space. Right here, you can track your credit score. You can track everything from the source, the balance, the interest rate, your minimum payment amount, and a due date. And down here it just tells you whether you paid off or increased your debt, pretty much. And the last tab is your net worth. These two cells will automatically calculate along with this one, but if you do have any other assets that you want to include, you can write them within these 3 lines. So it'll give you a little bit more of an accurate idea of your net worth. I do believe that my spreadsheets are ready for anyone who is interested and ready to take on that journey towards financial freedom. Starting on this Monday, October 5th, they'll be available for sale. I will be offering different plans depending on what you're personally looking for. So one option would be just to simply buy the spreadsheet, and you can use at your discretion. That will be available for download, and you can use them year by year. It doesn't only pertain to 2020. You can just clear it out and continuously use it. Another option that will be available is a one-to-one monthly service. So what that means is in the beginning of the month, once a month, I'll be joining you on a meeting where I will be assisting you on a month-to-month basis, completing the spreadsheet or developing and customizing a plan that's suitable for you.
And just throw my last 2 cents in. This is Amanda's project. She's always done this since day one. I've never really been like an expert with Excel or anything like that, but when I tell you Amanda really has a really good skill with Excel, and over the years she has tremendously helped us reach many goals that we put financially. And over the years we have learned, stuff like Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, brokerage accounts, something that I never knew was never even heard of. Our financial knowledge has increased tremendously and has helped us achieve our first home. We're buying a house here in the next 30 days, a second property, and that's kind of our goals. Just a little bit about ourselves. We venture into real estate, and then we pretty much have a dream of one day just living off our real estate. So
one of my tips, I guess I would say, is in the long term, maybe you're at the beginning stages, but in the long term, your overall goal would be to have a complete portfolio, which means your money isn't solely into stocks or isn't solely into properties. You want a well-rounded one where your money is working for you, and if one area is affected, it won't cause a big issue or problem.
Stock market and real estate are 2 big strong ones that we believe in, and we have been investing in for the last couple of years. And honestly, it's paid off. It just takes a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of help to help you track all of your income and get to where you want to be at.
Other than that, I hope you guys stick around for our Finance Fridays videos. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, and give us a thumbs up.
And if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below, and we'll get back to you guys as soon as possible.
We will see you guys next time.